The thing about humans is that they make absolutely no sense. I mean it. None. Zip. Zero logical processing units firing in those squishy organic brains of theirs. My name is Vrel, and I work security at the Kepler Station Trading Hub. Been doing it for 6 cycles now, which makes me practically ancient in this job. Most guards wash out after 1 cycle because, well, you try dealing with 400 different species all crammed into a glorified metal can floating in the void. It gets messy. It gets violent. It gets weird. But nothing, and I mean nothing, prepared me for the day Mira Kane walked onto my station. She arrived on a Tuesday, or whatever the human equivalent is. Time gets fuzzy when you're working double shifts. The docking bay sensors pinged, standard merchant vessel, registration checked out, all normal stuff. Except the manifest listed 1 passenger. Just 1. That should have been my first clue that something unusual was coming. I was munching on a protein stick, the disgusting Centauri brand that tastes like regret and bad decisions, when she strolled through the airlock. No armor. Let me repeat that for the folks in the back. No armor. Every species with half a survival instinct wears something protective when they travel through contested space. The Kryn wear their bioorganic plating. The Valorians have those ridiculous shield generators strapped to every limb. Even the pacifist gentle folk wear energy dispersal fields. But this human? She wore pants. Just pants. Some kind of worn jacket that looked older than my career. Boots that had seen better decades. And she carried nothing except a small pack slung over one shoulder. My secondary eyes nearly popped out of my skull. She was maybe 5'7" in human measurements, which my translator helpfully provided. Brown hair pulled back in something humans call a ponytail. Skin that bronze color some of them get from their sun. And her eyes. Oh, those eyes. They were the color of earth forests, apparently. Green with little flecks of gold. But it was not the color that made my mandibles click nervously. It was the look in them. Calm. Confident. Almost amused. Like she knew something the rest of us did not. My partner, Gorth, a Mandalorian-class enforcer who could bend steel with his bare appendages, actually took a step backward when she glanced his way. Did you just? I started. Shut up, Gorth rumbled. The human smiled. Actually smiled. Then she walked past us like we were furniture. Now here is where it gets interesting. The station was packed that day. We had a Kryn war party passing through, 12 of their finest warriors, each one standing 8 feet tall with fangs that could punch through starship hull plating. Nasty customers. They had been causing problems all morning, picking fights, breaking equipment, generally being the kind of nightmare that made me question my career choices. Their leader, some guy whose name translated to renders flesh from bone or something equally cheerful, was currently blocking the main corridor. He and his buddies had formed a wall of muscle, scale, and terrible attitude. Mira Kane walked straight toward them. Oh no, I whispered. Oh no. Gorth grabbed his stun baton. Should we intervene? And do what? The Kryn leader saw her coming. His crest flared red, which in their body language means he is about to get violent. His pack formed up behind him, all teeth and claws and bad intentions. The human did not slow down. She did not speed up either. She just walked. Steady. Even. Like she was taking a stroll through a park instead of heading directly toward 12 apex predators who kill for entertainment. 20 feet away. 15. 10. The Kryn leader opened his mouth, probably to say something threatening in that gargling language of theirs. But then he stopped. His crest flattened. His eyes widened. And then, I swear on my grandmother's egg clutch, he stepped aside. Just moved. Right out of her way. His entire war party followed suit, parting like water around a stone. Mira Kane walked through the gap without acknowledging them. Did not even look in their direction. Just kept walking with that same steady pace, her boots making soft sounds on the deck plating. The Kryn warriors watched her go. Silent. Respectful. One of them, a younger fighter, started to growl. The leader smacked him across the head, so hard I heard the impact from 30 feet away. What? Gorth said slowly just happened. I have no idea, but I was about to find out. Because over the next 3 days, it happened again. and again, and again. The Valerian mercenary crew that had been threatening vendors? They saw Mira in the marketplace and suddenly found urgent business elsewhere. The Screeth Hive Collective, whose species literally has no concept of fear. They gave her a wide berth in the food court. Even the station AI started routing cleaning drones around wherever she was standing. She never threatened anyone, never even raised her voice. She bought supplies, ate meals, read actual physical books in the observation lounge. Normal stuff, boring stuff. But everywhere she went, predators recognized something. I finally got curious enough to do something stupid. I pulled her file. Mira Kane, human, former Earth Military Special Operations Division, deployed to 17 conflict zones, 43 confirmed combat engagements. Survival rate of her unit was 98%, which in military terms might as well be magic. Retired 5 years ago. Now she travels. Just travels. The file had a note at the bottom, added by some bureaucrat at Galactic Registry. It said, recommend observation protocols. Subject displays unusual threat assessment markers. I snorted. Unusual was one way to put it. That evening, I found her in the observation deck, staring out at the stars. I probably should have left her alone. Should have minded my own business. But curiosity killed the Kryn, or however that saying goes. Excuse me, I approached carefully. Miss Kane? She turned, and that small smile appeared again. Just Mira is fine, she said. Her voice was soft but clear, like someone who never needed to shout to be heard. My translation implant picked up the subtle harmonics in human speech. There was something else there, underneath the words. Something my primitive brain stem recognized, even if my conscious mind did not. I am Vrel, Station Security. I was wondering if I could ask you something. You want to know why everyone moves out of my way? Direct. I appreciated that. Yes. Frankly, it is making my job easier, but also deeply confusing. You are not armed. You have not threatened anyone. You barely speak to anyone. Yet, every dangerous species on this station treats you like you are made of explosives. She turned back to the viewport, looking out at the swirling nebula beyond. You ever have a pet, Vrel? A what? An animal you keep for companionship. Yes. I had a skitter mite when I was young. Tiny thing, mostly harmless. Did it ever bite you? Once. When I accidentally stepped on its tail. And what did you do? I thought back. Nothing really. It was scared. I understood that. Exactly. She tapped the viewport glass gently. Predators, real predators, they understand something that most civilized species forget. They understand body language. They read micro-expressions, chemical signals, movement patterns. They have to, or they do not eat. I'm not following. Every species on this station, even the scary ones, they have rules now. Laws. Social contracts. But deep in their brain stems, in the parts that evolution built over millions of years, they still know how to read danger. And humans. She paused, considering her words. Humans spent 300,000 years being both predator and prey. We got good at both sides of that equation. A chill ran down my spine. Not the bad kind. The kind that comes with understanding. You're not doing anything, I said slowly. You are just being yourself, and they can read it. Bingo. She smiled wider now. I spent 20 years in situations where hesitation meant death. Where you had to assess threats in microseconds and respond appropriately. You do that long enough, it becomes part of how you move, how you breathe, how you exist in space. So you're dangerous. Everyone is dangerous, Vrel. The question is whether you know how to control it. She finally looked at me fully, and I understood what the Kryn leader had seen. There was no aggression in her eyes. No threat. But there was absolute certainty. Confidence without arrogance. Capability without cruelty. She was a person who knew exactly what she could do and had made peace with it. The Kryn warrior, I said, renders flesh from bone. He has killed dozens in combat. I'm sure he has. He stepped aside for you. Because he recognized another soldier. Someone who has been where he has been. And he is smart enough to know that starting a fight with someone like that, in a confined space, with limited exits, is a terrible idea. Not because he would definitely lose, but because even if he won, the cost would be too high. Gorth chose that moment to join us, his heavy footsteps announcing him before he arrived. Brel, we have a situation. The SCIFI Hive is arguing with a Valerian shipping crew over docking priority. It is getting heated. I sighed. This was going to be messy. The SCIFI do not back down. Ever. It is not in their biology. And the Valorians would rather die than show weakness. Want some help? Mira asked casually. You are a civilian. I'm also someone both groups will listen to, apparently. She had a point. We walked to the docking bay together, my security credentials clearing the checkpoints. The situation was exactly as bad as Gorth described. 30 SCIFI drones buzzing angrily in their collective formation, facing off against a dozen Valerian Marines in full combat armor. Both sides had weapons drawn. Both sides were shouting. Neither side was listening. The SCIFI hive mind spoke in unison, which was always creepy. This dock was reserved. Our priority is logged. The Valerian captain, a scarred veteran whose armor had seen serious combat, snarled back. Your reservation expired 40 minutes ago. Move or be moved. I opened my mouth to try some diplomatic nonsense that would not work. But Mira walked forward before I could speak. She did not go between them. That would have been stupid. Instead, she walked to the side to where both groups could see her clearly, and she just stood there, watching. The SCIFI noticed her first. Their buzzing changed pitch, became uncertain. The drones shifted their formation, creating a small gap in her direction. The Valerian captain followed their gaze. His hand, which had been moving toward his weapon trigger, froze. His eyes narrowed behind his helmet visor. Mira still said nothing, just stood there with her hands visible, relaxed, completely unconcerned with the armed forces around her. The silence stretched for 10 seconds. 20. 30. Finally, the Valerian captain spoke. We can use Dock 7 instead. Our cargo is not time sensitive. The SCIFI hive mind hummed. Acceptable. We will complete loading in 1 standard hour. Just like that, the crisis evaporated. Both groups moved away, carefully avoiding any path that would bring them close to Mira. Gorth stared at her like she had just performed actual magic. How? He demanded. I gave them an out, Mira explained. They were both committed to their positions. Neither could back down without losing face. But when I showed up, I became the unknown variable, the bigger threat. Suddenly, compromising with each other seemed smarter than finding out what I might do. But you are not going to do anything. They do not know that. Her eyes twinkled with amusement. And the beauty of reputation is that I do not have to do anything. Their instincts do the work for me. I laughed. Could not help it. Here was this unarmed human who had somehow turned evolutionary survival instincts into a peacekeeping tool. You know, I said, Station Command has been trying to recruit a new conflict resolution specialist. The pay is terrible, but the benefits are decent. I am retired. You could get free docking. She considered this seriously. How free are we talking? Very free. Tempting. She looked around the station at the hundreds of species moving through the corridors, the complex dance of trade and culture and barely controlled chaos. But I think I will keep traveling. Someone has to make sure the predators play nice out there. She left the next morning on the same ship she arrived on. No fanfare. No advice. Just a nod to me and Gorth as she walked back through the airlock. The station felt different after she left. Quieter somehow. The Kryn War party departed 6 hours later, unusually polite in their departure protocols. The SCIFI hive actually thanked my staff for a service. Even the Valorians left a positive review. Gorth and I were doing our evening rounds when he finally asked the question. Do you think there are more humans like her out there? I thought about Earth. A whole planet full of apes who climbed down from trees and decided to hunt everything that moved. Who went from stone tools to starships in the blink of an evolutionary eye. Who sang and laughed and cried and killed with equal passion. Yeah, I said. I think there probably are. That is terrifying. or comforting. Depends on whether they like you. We finished our rounds in silence. But I kept thinking about Mira Kane, traveling the stars with nothing but a backpack and 300,000 years of evolution backing her up. No armor, no noise, just a human being human. And somehow, that was enough to make every predator in the galaxy recognize her instantly. Funny how that works. So what did you think? Did this story surprise you? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this sci-fi story, please hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. And don't forget to subscribe for more mind-blowing science fiction stories every week. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next story.